national security not neglected in visa exemption. Local currency to strengthen next year. Salam Malaysia Madani. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Well, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has given his assurance that the aspect of national security will not be neglected following the government's recent announcement regarding visa exemption for several countries.
Datuk Seri Anwar said that security agencies have been asked to strengthen security screening so that visa exemption facilities do not affect national security.
Ada hal-hal yang berhormat yang mungkin gusar kerana kemungkinan isu keselamatan dibangkitkan. Maka agensi keselamatan telah diminta untuk perkuatkan penapisan aspek keselamatan supaya kemudahan ini tidak menjejaskan keselamatan negara.
The government has granted a 30-day visa exemption for Chinese and Indian nationals to Malaysia from 1st of December in the spirit of the strategic partnership of Malaysia-China bilateral relations, which will span 50 years next year. It is an additional facility to the existing visa exemptions enjoyed by citizens from Gulf states and other West Asian countries.
Well, Malaysia has managed to secure investment commitments worth 347 billion ringgit from the official visits made by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, as well as trade and investment missions overseas under the current government. The commitments were clinched during the trips to China, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and the United States.
At the tabling of the Supply Bill 2024 for the second reading in the Dewan Negara today, Datuk Seri Anwar said the government has also approved investments valued at 132.6 billion ringgit in the first half of 2023, representing more than 60% of the full-year target.
Yang utama ialah jaminan berkembangnya KDNK suku ketiga mencatat pertumbuhan 3.3% ketimbang 2.9% suku kedua tahun sebelumnya. Ekonomi kita berkembang 3.9% pada 9 bulan pertama 2023 selari dengan unjuran KDNK sekitar 4%.
The Prime Minister also noted that inflationary pressures have subsided while the unemployment rate has been reduced to 3.4% as of September 2023, almost back to the same level as before the COVID-19 crisis. He said although it has been just 1 year, the unity government have implemented clear and strong policies that were not implemented previously.
Well, the registration and claim for e-Madani, the one-off e-wallet credit of 100 ringgit will open from Monday, 4th December to 20th February next year. And Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also Finance Minister, said the e-Madani initiative will benefit 10 million eligible adult Malaysians, involving an allocation of 1 billion ringgit. And he said this when tabling the Supply Bill 2024 for the second reading at the Dewan Negara today. Now, the e-wallet credit, which is offered to all Malaysians aged 21 and above within the B40 and M40 groups, was announced by Datuk Seri Anwar during the launch of the Madani Economy, Empowering the People framework on 27 July. Well, former Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin failed in his application to have his passport returned permanently to him. Now, this was after the Sessions Court Judge Azura Alwi dismissed the Pago MP's application. Well, Azura said that the court opines that the applicant needs to present stronger reasons other than holiday and medical checkup, in addition to the applicant still facing 3 more charges of money laundering. The presiding judge added that Tan Sri Muhyiddin can still apply for a temporary release of his passport and he will not be prejudiced. Now, on 16th October, the politician filed the application on the basis that he needed the passport for a family holiday in London and a medical checkup in Singapore at the end of this year. Now, Tan Sri Muhyiddin's counsel, Dato Sri K. Kumarendran, then requested the passport to be returned today, as his client will start his holiday trip on 15 December. Now, since the matter was not objected to by the Deputy Public Prosecutor, Ahmad Akram Garib, the court then allowed for the document to be temporarily returned to Tan Sri Muhyiddin today and ordered the passport to be returned to the court before 15 January 2024. Coming up next, promote digitalization, increase people involvement in digital economy. Well, the ringgit is expected to strengthen in 2024, driven by several factors, including the government's fiscal discipline, better global economic growth, and easing of uncertainties in the United States currency policy. Now, in a post on X, Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli said the ringgit's performance has to be viewed from a broader perspective and measured against other currencies and not solely against the US dollar. In fact, he said this is how central banks around the world measure the value of their currency, which is a comparison against a group of other major currencies that trade with that country. Now, the minister said the value of a currency has to be measured against other economic indicators, such as economic growth, inflation rate, amount of new investment, interest rate, unemployment rate, and salary scale, among others. The ringgit depreciated by 0.6% against the US dollar and fell 0.2% against the Singapore dollar. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, or MCMC, today strengthened cooperation with 3 strategic partners by signing the Memorandums of Understanding, or MOUs, to promote digitalization of health sector and community empowerment.
The MOUs were signed by MCMC with the Federal Land Development Authorities, FELDA, the Malaysian Medical Association, MMA, and the Malaysian Pharmaceutical Society, MPS, in conjunction with the Madani Digital Economy Centre, PEDI, conference today and witnessed by the Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil. Through the MOUs, MCMC, together with FELDA, MMA and MPS, will help their respective communities to adapt to the ever-changing digital landscape in line with the availability of PEDI as a catalyst for the country's digital economy. According to Fahmi, the MOUs aimed at promoting digitalization or connectivity among the community.
Harapan saya ini akan dapat meningkatkan pendigitalan dan juga meningkatkan keterlibatan lebih ramai dalam masyarakat dalam bidang ekonomi digital.
Well, the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, has been given a month to investigate the causes of delay in the permit issuance for foreign knowledge workers, or FKW, and to find solutions to reduce the entry period for them to work in Malaysia, particularly in the call centre industry. Well, according to Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil, facilitating the entry of FKW is in line with the government's aspiration to improve the ease of doing business and make Malaysia a premier destination for many foreign companies to spread their wings in the Southeast Asia region.
Kalau sebelum ni ada yang tunggu 8 minggu, 12 minggu ataupun lebih dari itu, tapi kita nak teliti proses bagi foreign knowledge workers ini, dan tanpa kita mengetepikan aspek keselamatan. Jadi di sini kita akan melalui MDEC berurusan dengan agensi-agensi yang lain untuk melihat di mana kita boleh percepatkan proses itu dan mempermudah bagi syarikat-syarikat yang ingin memohon.
Fahmi said efforts to reduce the waiting period for FKW are essential because call centre organisations in Malaysia are now large and crucial, employing about 200,000 to 300,000 workers nationwide. As such, he said, it is hoped that the 1-month period given to MDEC would also lead to good news to be announced by early next year. He said this to reporters after opening the Customer Experience CX Summit 2023 today.
Well, Syarikat Tafakul Malaysia Keluarga Berhad, or Takaful Malaysia, has launched Tim, a new digital platform brand that provides online medical cards for Malaysians in conjunction with the Takaful operator's 39th anniversary. Well, it offers Medicard, a medical coverage plan with 3 affordable plans starting from 38 ringgit per month and an annual limit of up to 1.1 million ringgit with MediBooster rider.
Group Chief Executive Officer Nur Azman Zainal said the plan is offered to Malaysians from the age of 6 to 69 years old with a coverage period of up to 85 years old. He said customers can sign up for a Medicard online via Tim anytime, anywhere in just a few minutes with just a few clicks without having to undergo a medical checkup and get covered within the day. He said the objective of the brand is to target a wider segment of the audience while meeting the needs of the customers.
It's all about the needs in the market. Okay, kalau you notice, medical coverage today is very expensive. So STM is trying to help to meringankan beban tersebut. Okay, so that's the whole purpose. A combination of needs and digital.
He said as the market grows, the long-term goals for the innovation would be sustaining and keeping the brand and company relevant in the market.
Well, Cradle Functioner in Berhad has appointed Norman Matthew Van Hakke as Group Chief Executive Officer or CEO effective 23rd November 2023. Well, Norman has assumed the position of acting Group CEO since the 1st of June 2022. Well, in a statement today, Cradle said before joining the agency in 2020 and assuming the position of Head of Finance and Corporate Services, Norman served as an auditor at KPMG and held various key positions in the strategy, finance and management departments for local petroleum companies as well as multinationals and government agencies. Cradle chairperson Dato' Yvonne Chia said over the past 18 months, Norman has proven his leadership capabilities as acting Group CEO. Now, Cradle is the focal agency of the Malaysian startup ecosystem under the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, known as MOSTI. Well, Prince of Monaco, Prince Albert II, departed for Singapore after concluding his 4-day inaugural state visit to Malaysia today. Now, Prince Albert was met at the Bunga Raya complex of the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, shortly after 3 p.m. before boarding the special aircraft. Also present at sending off ceremony were Human Resources Minister V. Siva Kumar and Malaysian Ambassador to France, Dato' Muhammad Zamruni Khalid. Now, Prince Albert arrived in Malaysia last Sunday for the visit. Now, while in Malaysia, Prince Albert had an audience with Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al Mustafa Billah Shah at Istana Negara and also attended the Monaco Economic Forum 2023. Yesterday, Prince Albert also visited the Malayan Tiger Conservation Centre and the Kuala Gandah National Elephant Conservation Centre in Pahang. A Virgin Atlantic passenger jet powered by 100% sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, completed a London to New York flight on Tuesday, showcasing the potential of low-carbon options, which are a tiny fraction of the industry's fuel mix. Now, the flight, operated by a Virgin Boeing 787 powered by Rolls-Royce Trent 1000 engines, is the first time a commercial airliner has flown long-haul on 100% sustainable aviation fuel. It had no paying passengers or cargo. Now, the flight carried only Virgin's billionaire founder, Richard Branson, and a few others, and it is set to return to London using conventional jet fuel. Now, the flight is not the first time the industry has staged demonstrations to highlight its aspiration to reduce emissions. Airlines are banking on fuel made from waste to reduce their emissions by up to 70%, but the high costs and tight supply of materials needed to make SAF make large-scale production difficult. Well, Uber will open up its platform to London's black cabs early next year, the ride-hailing firm said today, signaling a dramatic turnaround in its relationship with drivers of the British capital's iconic taxis. Now, black cabs are the only London vehicles which can pick up passengers from the streets or taxi ranks within the city and can also be booked through other apps. Now, the new service, which will be rolled out in early 2024, follows nearly a decade of tensions between the two parties, including an unsuccessful legal challenge by black cab drivers against Uber's London operating license in 2019. Now, under the new arrangement, black cab drivers will be offered jobs with a predetermined price range through Uber, which they can accept or reject. Now, Uber will not charge black cab drivers a commission for the first 6 months of the deal. In May, Uber said it was seeing an influx of European taxi drivers joining its platform, with Britain, France, Germany and Spain representing its biggest markets on the continent. Still ahead, vicious cycle of violence on Palestinians must end. Well, the illegal and inhumane occupation by Israel of Palestinian land must end, and the vicious cycle of violence on Palestinians must stop to pave way for efforts to support the establishment of a free and independent state of Palestine. Now, Foreign Affairs Minister Dato Sri Dr. Zamri Abdul Qadir said that this must be in accordance with the two-state solution based on pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Well, he said the world can no longer deny the fact that that is the only way to achieve peace and security in the region and to resolve the question of Palestine, adding that real and decisive actions must be taken to address the issue.
The humanitarian pause happened only after close to 15,000 Palestinians, including about 4,000 women, and 6,000 children had been killed in Gaza, and approximately 2,700 people, including around 1,200 children, had been reported missing and may be trapped or dead under the rubble.
Well, he said this when delivering Malaysia's statement at the United Nations plenary meeting on the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian question on Tuesday. Moving forward, Dato Sri Zamri said it is important that the voice of the Palestinian people be heard loud and clear in charting their own future. Palestinians, he said, must be involved front and center in any discussion on the future governance of their nation. Well, 41 Indian construction workers trapped in a collapsed road tunnel were brought to safety on Tuesday after 17 days and multiple setbacks during their rescue operation. Now, the workers were stuck more than 200 meters from the entrance when a part of the 4.5-kilometer Silhyara tunnel in Uttarakhand State's Uttarkashi district caved in on 12 November. Now, the rescuers encountered many difficulties, including equipment breakdown while drilling with heavy machines to reach the trapped men. Now, the workers received food, water, oxygen and medicines via a narrow pipe during the ordeal. They finally emerged one by one on a wheeled stretcher through a 90-centimeter evacuation pipe that was pushed through the collapsed tunnel's debris. The last several meters of the roughly 60-meter drilling was done manually by rat hole miners. Now, the families of workers, local residents, rescuers and officials present at the site cheered the successful rescue. One rescuer said that it was a big day for all of them as all the workers have finally been rescued successfully. The workers appeared healthy but were taken to a hospital in ambulances for a medical checkup. In sports, Hannah, hopeful conflict can be resolved. Stay with us.
Dengan misi mesti menang, semangat perjuangan terus diledakkan dalam setiap pertembungan. 14 pasukan, satu sorakan. Liga Super 2023 bersama kami di RTM, rakan penyiar MFL Liga Malaysia 2023.
Well, a recent meeting between the Youth and Sports Ministry, or KBS, Secretary General, the National Sports Council, MSN, and the Olympic Council of Malaysia, OCM, has raised hope that the conflict between OCM and the Sports Commissioner, or PJS, can be settled. Now, Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh said she believed the meeting could pave the way for the conflict to be settled professionally, but asked that OCM and PJS be given space to work things out.
Untuk saya yang paling penting adalah untuk pastikan jawatan PJS itu kekal profesional dan tiada bias dan neutral. Dan itu sangat penting kerana ini adalah satu jawatan yang cukup penting untuk menguatkuasakan Akta Pembangunan Sukan dan seperti yang saya telah nyatakan dalam parlimen, ekosistem sukan yang harmoni sangat penting untuk kita. Jadi saya percaya dengan courtesy call yang telah diadakan antara KSU dengan Tuan Haji Rashid bersama Presiden Olympic Council, saya percaya perkara ini kita boleh selesaikan dengan cukup profesional dan tenanglah.
She said this to reporters at a ceremony for the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, between University Technology Mara, UITM, and MSN at the Tuanku Said Sirajuddin Chancellery today. Hannah said her priority is to resolve the esports issue as it is the root problem in the PJS-OCM dispute. Now, the PJS-OCM conflict split into the open after an audio recording of an alleged threat by the PJS to deregister OCM went viral. Earlier, UITM and MSN renewed the MOU, which expired last January, for a 3-year period to allow MSN athletes and staff to further their education at UITM. In football, Johor Darul Takzim, or JDT's chances of advancing to the knockout stage of the Asian Football Confederation, or AFC Champions League, continue to drop after they lost 5-0 to Kawasaki Frontale in their 5th group match at Kawasaki Todoroki Stadium on Wednesday. Now, 4-time J1 League winners Kawasaki Frontale has booked its place in the knockout round with the win, having collected 15 points with 1 group match remaining.
The home team took only 8 minutes to score their first goal, courtesy of Akihiro Inaga, and continued to dominate play till the end of the first half. Fresh from the halftime break, Kawasaki Frontale scored their second goal in the 5th minute after Leandro Damio's shot hit the post before going in, beating JDT keeper Ahmad Shihan Hazmi Muhammad. The Japanese team then scored 2 goals in the space of 9 minutes, first with a Mashino header in the 60th minute, followed by a goal by Yu Kobayashi to bring the scoreline to 4-0 before ending the match 5-0 with a goal by Miki Yamen in the 88th minute and retaining their unbeaten record. Meanwhile, 2-time champions Ulsan Hyundai of South Korea beat Thai club BG Pathum United 3-1 in the other group match last night. JDT will next play BG Pathum United at home in Iskandar Putri, while Ulsan Hyundai will meet Kawasaki Frontale in Ulsan on the 12th of December for the last group match.
Well, over in Europe, Manchester City's Julian Alvarez scored in the 87th minute as the European champions clawed their way back from 2 goals down to beat RB Leipzig 3-2 and clinch top spot in Champions League Group G on Tuesday with 1 round of matches remaining.
Luis Openda pounced on a pair of City defensive blunders for both Leipzig goals, sprinting onto a long ball from goalkeeper Janis Blažević. It bounced over a lackadaisical Manuel Akanji in the 13th minute for the opener. He struck again with seemingly similar ease in the 33rd, spinning around Ruben Dias en route to scoring. Erling Haaland, who poured in 5 goals against Leipzig in a 7-0 rout in the Champions League last 16th in March, finally gave stunned City fans at the Etihad Stadium something to cheer in the 54th minute when he ran onto a pass from Foden and struck a low left foot shot into the net. City levelled with Foden's excellent first touch and finish in the 70th, and Alvarez fired the host ahead when Foden's pass was deflected into his path for a close-range effort. City have now claimed 15 points after 5 games, while Leipzig, who had also reached the last 16, have 9.
In Spain, Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix scored in each half to earn Barcelona a 2-1 comeback win at home against Porto that booked their spot in the Champions League knockout rounds for the first time in 3 seasons.
The visitors wasted several chances before Pepe put them in front in the 30th minute with a close-range strike from a rebound. However, Barca quickly hit back with a fine-line curling shot into the top corner by Cancelo 2 minutes later. Cancelo was excellent, running down the left channel and teed up Joao Felix for a tidy first-time finish in the 57th minute to secure the win. Barcelona are top of Group H on 12 points, 3 ahead Porto and Shakhtar Donetsk, who will play each other on the final match day to decide who will join Barca in the knockout stage. In another match, Kylian Mbappe struck a controversial penalty deep into stoppage time to earn Paris Saint-Germain a 1-1 draw against a valiant Newcastle United and keep their Champions League destiny in their own hands. The visitors had led the Group F clash since midday through the opening half thanks to an Alexander Isak's tap-in. PSG's players howled loudly for handball when the ball bounced off Newcastle's Tino Livramento's chest and onto his elbow, with referee Simon Masiniak then invited to check the pitchside monitor by the VAR official. To Newcastle's horror, Masiniak, who had turned down a more likely penalty earlier, pointed to the spot, and Mbappe was as cool as a cucumber to fire high past keeper Nick Pope in the 8th minute of the stoppage time.
And that's it from us this evening. In our top story, national security not neglected in visa exemption. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos. Thanks for watching. Good night.